Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We made it. It's officially 2025.
It is.
And to kick things off, we're taking a deep dive into predictions for the year ahead.
A little crystal ball gazing.
Exactly. Peering into the swirling mists of time. And who better to guide us than,
WeiWat and the W Files, a blog and YouTube channel.
Right. WeiWat always seems to find the most fascinating and sometimes pretty outlandish predictions.
It's true.
From sources you wouldn't think of, like astrologers, psychics, remote viewers.
Even someone called the living Nostradamus.
Really? The living Nostradamus?
You can't make this stuff up.
I know, right?
Wait, what?
Who doesn't love a good glimpse into the future, right?
It's more than just a peek into the unknown, though. It seems like humans have always had this insatiable desire to know what's coming next. It's almost like a survival instinct, you know?
Totally. Like that age-old question, like, do we want to know the future, even if it's bad news?
Yeah.
But before we get lost in the potential chaos of 2025, I think we need some historical context.
Absolutely. Futurology.
Yeah.
You know, the study of predicting the future. It's a surprisingly rich field. We've got ancient oracles, Nostradamus with his cryptic quatrains, even modern-day futurists using complex algorithms, you name it.
Okay, Nostradamus, that's a name everyone's heard. But was he actually legit? I mean, some people swear he predicted everything from Hitler's rise to 9/11.
It's funny because his writings are so open to interpretation that you can kind of find whatever you're looking for, you know? Like, take his quatrain about a great terror descending from the sky. People point to that as a prediction for 9/11, but it could just as easily have referred to something else entirely.
So it's a bit like those prophecies you find in fortune cookies.
Totally.
Vague enough to apply to almost anything.
Exactly, but that's part of the allure, isn't it? The ambiguity, the mystery, and that brings us back to why we're so drawn to predictions in the first place.
All right, lay it on me. Why are we so obsessed with what might happen tomorrow, next year, a century from now?
There's the practical side, right? Anticipating challenges, making plans, but I think it goes deeper. It taps into our hopes, our fears, our desire to make sense of a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
It's like that scene in Back to the Future 2, where Marty sees the sports almanac and tries to use it to get rich.
Yeah.
You know, we all crave that little peek into the future, maybe hoping to game the system.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about finding comfort in the face of the unknown. Think about those end-of-the-world prophecies, as scary as they are. They also offer this strange sense of control, you know, a narrative arc that makes sense of the chaos.
Okay, I see your point. But knowing all this, shouldn't we be a bit more, critical of predictions?
Absolutely. That's where things get interesting. You know, just because someone claims to see the future doesn't mean they actually do. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially with those charismatic figures and those compelling narratives.
So how do we avoid falling into that trap? What's the key to being a savvy consumer of predictions?
It's all about asking the right questions. You know, who's making the prediction? What's their track record? Are they basing it on evidence methodology or just gut feelings? And most importantly, what are their motivations?
Motivations? Like, could someone be making predictions for personal gain?
It happens all the time. Think about those investment gurus who claim to know which stocks will skyrocket.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's genuine, but other times it's about manipulating the market, creating buzz, selling books, or even just feeding their own ego.
So it's like a buyer beware situation. Yeah. We can't just take predictions at face value. We need to be critical thinkers, right?
Exactly, and that's even more important when we're dealing with predictions about global events, technological advancements, things that could have a major impact on our lives.
All right, I'm officially in critical thinking mode, but all this talk about the history and psychology of predictions has me itching to dive into the specifics. Let's get to those 2025 predictions from the W Files. Where do we even begin with this treasure trove of potential futures?
Well, the cool thing is WeiWat doesn't rely on just one source. He's gathered insights from a whole range of people: astrologers, psychics, remote viewers, even someone called the living Nostradamus, you know?
Oh, wow.
It's like a buffet of predictions.
Oh, that's what I call the deep dives. But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, let's set the stage for our listeners, give them a taste of what kind of predictions we're dealing with here.
Buckle up. We're talking about potential earthquakes in Asia and along the U.S. West Coast, whispers of World War III, and the rise of AI so advanced it could give even Elon Musk pause.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. It also sounds a bit like a Hollywood disaster movie, right?
There's definitely that element of what if that draws us in, but remember, we're approaching this with our critical thinking caps on, where we're here to analyze, explore, and most importantly, have a little fun with it.
Sounds like a plan. So let's get this time-traveling expedition started. What's the first stop on our journey to 2025?
Let's start with what's on everyone's mind these days, the global landscape. WeiWat highlights some pretty intense predictions about potential conflicts and power shifts, things like that.
Okay, I'm all ears, but already a little nervous. It feels like we're living in a real-life Game of Thrones these days.
Yeah, right. Well, several sources, including psychic medium Kel Sutliff and astrologer Bracha Goldsmith, they foresee some major shakeups in world leadership. They don't name names, but the implications are pretty clear.
So we're talking political intrigue, maybe even some shocking resignations or elections.
It's certainly possible. And then we have Baba Vanga's predictions. Some interpretations suggest a major war in Europe potentially devastating for the continent.
Hold on, Baba Vanga, wasn't she that blind mystic from Bulgaria who supposedly predicted everything from Chernobyl to the Kursk submarine disaster?
The very same. And while some of her predictions have been eerily accurate, others have been way off the mark. It's always tricky to separate fact from fiction with these kinds of prophecies.
Okay, so we're taking this with a grain of salt, but a war in Europe, that's a chilling thought, especially considering what's happening in Ukraine right now.
It's definitely a cause for concern, and some sources suggest that the current conflict could either escalate, dragging in other nations, or end abruptly due to unforeseen circumstances.
Yikes. Neither scenario sounds particularly appealing. Anything else we should be bracing ourselves for?
Well, several sources, including psychics Linda G. and Elizabeth April, they mention possible assassination attempts on world leaders. They specifically name Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping.
Whoa, assassination attempts. That's intense. But hold on, Trump isn't even in office right now.
Both Linda G. and Elizabeth April, they predict he'll be reelected in 2024, and they see the assassination attempts happening after his inauguration. It's like a political thriller waiting to unfold.
Okay, this is getting a bit too much like House of Cards for my liking. Any chance of some good news on the global front?
There's always hope. Debbie Griggs, another psychic featured in the W Files, she sees these conflicts as potential catalysts for positive change. She believes people will rise up, demanding peace and accountability from their leaders.
So it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes, a new world order emerging from the chaos.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always potential for transformation and growth.
Okay, I'm trying to hold on to that glimmer of optimism, but all this talk about war and political instability is making me want to bury my head in the sand. Maybe a change of subject is in order.
Sure. Let's shift gears to something a bit more tangible. The economy, WeiWat has uncovered some intriguing predictions about potential shifts in the financial landscape.
Okay, time to talk money. But I have a feeling this isn't going to be about which stock to buy in 2025.
No, probably not. Several sources predict a global recession, a decline in the U.S. dollar's value, and even a move toward government-controlled digital currencies.
Wait, government-controlled digital currencies, that sounds straight out of a cyberpunk novel. What exactly does that mean?
It's a complex topic, but essentially it means that instead of using physical cash or even independent cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, we'd be using digital money issued and regulated by governments.
So every transaction would be tracked and controlled. Feels a bit like Big Brother is watching.
That's a valid concern and one that's raised by several sources. The living Nostradamus, Athos Salomé, he specifically warns about the potential for these technologies to be used for surveillance and control.
On the other hand, wouldn't digital currencies also make things more efficient? Potentially reduce fraud and corruption?
That's the argument some proponents make. They see it as a way to streamline financial systems and increase transparency. It's a double-edged sword, really.
So we're talking about a potential economic roller coaster, a shift in how we think about money, and maybe even some Big Brother vibes thrown in for good measure.
Linda G. sees a major stock market downturn in the second quarter of 2025. Elizabeth April predicts a surge in the use of cryptocurrency, which could either stabilize or further disrupt the global economy. It's a bit of a wild card.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like I need a degree in economics just to keep up with all this, but I have to ask, is there any good news on the financial front? Any chance of winning the lottery in 2025?
Well, maybe not the lottery, but some sources see potential for innovation and growth, particularly in fields like technology and renewable energy.
Okay, that's a glimmer of hope, but overall it sounds like we might want to start tightening our belts and maybe brushing up on our financial literacy skills.
That's probably not a bad idea, but let's not dwell on the doom and gloom just yet. WeiWat also highlights some predictions that are, shall we say, a bit more out there.
Out there like alien invasion out there?
Not quite, though. There are some predictions about UFO disclosures, but let's start with something a bit closer to home technological advancements.
Now you're talking, give me all the futuristic gadgets and gizmos. I'm ready to upgrade my life 2025 style.
Get ready to have your mind blown. Several sources, including the living Nostradamus, predict that AI will reach unimaginable levels in 2025.
Okay, unimaginable levels. That sounds a bit like hyperbole, doesn't it? I mean, AI is already pretty advanced.
Salomé suggests that these advanced AI systems will be able to operate in multiple domains simultaneously, essentially mimicking human reasoning.
So we're talking about AI that can not only process information, but also understand and apply it in complex ways.
Precisely, imagine AI designing buildings, planning advertising campaigns, even diagnosing diseases.
Okay, that's impressive. But it also makes me think of HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. You know, the AI that goes rogue and tries to kill the astronaut.
Right. That's the classic fear, isn't it? And it's one that Salomé acknowledges. He warns that transferring too much power to machines could have unintended consequences.
So it's a bit of a gamble, like we could end up with super intelligent AI that helps solve our problems or turns against us.
It's a classic science fiction dilemma, and one that's becoming increasingly relevant as AI technology advances.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued, but also slightly terrified. What other technological marvels are in store for us in 2025?
Well, quantum computing is another area where breakthroughs are predicted. Imagine computers exponentially faster and more powerful than anything we have today.
That sounds like something out of Star Trek. What would we even use those for?
The possibilities are practically endless. Quantum computers could revolutionize medicine materials, science cryptography, even artificial intelligence itself.
So we're talking potential cures for diseases, new materials that are lighter and stronger, and maybe even AI that can finally beat us at chess without cheating.
It's definitely an exciting field with immense potential. And then there are the predictions about brain-machine interfaces.
Whoa, brain-machine interfaces. That sounds like something straight out of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Are we talking about plugging our brains directly into computers?
Not quite that dramatic, at least not in 2025. But the idea is to use technology to interface with the brain, potentially for medical purposes, like treating neurological disorders.
So it's like a high-tech version of those brain stimulators used to treat Parkinson's disease.
It's a step beyond that. Imagine being able to control prosthetic limbs with your thoughts, or even download information directly into your brain.
Okay, that's both fascinating and a little freaky. But what about privacy? If we're connecting our brains to computers, wouldn't our thoughts be vulnerable to hacking or manipulation?
That's a huge concern, and one that needs to be addressed as this technology develops. It's all about finding that balance between progress and ethical considerations.
All right, so we've got super intelligent AI, quantum computers, brain-machine interfaces. What other technological goodies are in store for us in 2025?
Well, several sources predict that 2025 could be the year of UFO disclosure.
Wait, are we talking about aliens finally making contact, like showing up on the White House lawn and demanding to speak to our leader?
Not necessarily direct contact, but sources like Elizabeth April and Athos Salomé predict that governments, particularly the U.S., may declassify UFO files revealing information about past encounters or ongoing investigations.
Okay, that would be huge. It's like the ultimate conspiracy theory finally being confirmed.
It would certainly be a paradigm shift. And speaking of groundbreaking advancements, let's not forget the predictions about lab-grown organs.
Oh, I've read about that scientists are already growing simple organs in labs, but it sounds like things are about to get even more advanced.
Baba Vanga specifically predicted breakthroughs in lab-grown organs for 2025, suggesting that it could revolutionize transplants and save countless lives.
Imagine a world where organ donation is no longer necessary because we can just grow new organs on demand. That's incredible.
It's definitely a future worth striving for, but as with all these advancements, there are ethical and societal implications to consider.
Right, like who gets access to these life-saving technologies and what happens to the organ donation system as we know it?
Those are important questions that need to be addressed as we move into this brave new world of technological advancements.
Okay, I'm feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension about all this. It's like we're standing on the precipice of a technological revolution, but we're not quite sure what's on the other side.
It's definitely a time of great potential and uncertainty, but let's not forget that amidst all this focus on the material world, there are also predictions about shifts in consciousness and spirituality.
Okay, time to get a little woo-woo. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these spiritual predictions for 2025.
Many of the sources WeiWat has gathered predict a rise in spiritual awareness, a shift in values, and a deepening connection to something greater than ourselves.
So it's like a counterbalance to all the technological advancements and potential chaos in the world, a return to our roots, maybe.
It's more than just a return to tradition. Some sources see it as an evolutionary leap, a collective awakening to our interconnectedness, and our role in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit like Neo in The Matrix, waking up to a new reality. But how will this spiritual awakening manifest in our everyday lives?
Some sources predict a decline in organized religion and a rise in more individualized forms of spirituality.
So less about dogma and rituals, more about personal exploration and connection.
Exactly, and this shift is predicted to extend beyond just religious beliefs. Some sources foresee a growing awareness of our interconnectedness, a greater emphasis on empathy and compassion.
That sounds beautiful. But how does all this spiritual growth tie into the challenges we've been discussing? You know, the potential conflicts, the economic instability, the rapid technological advancements.
That's a great question. Many sources believe this spiritual awakening isn't happening in isolation. It's a direct response to the challenges we face, a way of finding meaning and purpose in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming.
So it's like a collective evolution as the world around us changes. So do we.
Precisely. And this evolution isn't just about adapting to external circumstances. It's about tapping into our inner wisdom, our intuition, our capacity for love and compassion.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more grounded now. It's reassuring to think that amidst all the potential turmoil, there's also this wave of spiritual growth and awareness.
It's a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, there's always hope. And speaking of hope, let's delve into one of the most fascinating and perhaps controversial predictions: increased communication with the deceased.
Okay, time to venture into the paranormal. I'm equal parts curious and skeptical. What exactly are the sources saying about this?
Several sources, including Amanda Ellis and Debbie Griggs, predict a surge in intuitive abilities and spiritual connections, including the ability to communicate with those who have passed on.
Whoa, are we talking full-on conversations with spirits or something more subtle?
It seems to vary depending on the source. Some predict more overt forms of communication, like seeing apparitions or hearing voices, while others suggest a more intuitive knowing, a sense of presence or guidance from loved ones who have crossed over.
So it's not necessarily about having tea with your dearly departed, but more about feeling their presence, maybe receiving messages or guidance.
Exactly, and it's important to note that this isn't just about spooky encounters. Many sources believe this increased connection with the deceased is part of a larger spiritual evolution, a way of understanding that death is not the end, but a transition.
That's actually a comforting thought. It's like a reminder that our loved ones are still with us in some way, even after they're gone.
Precisely, and for many, this connection can be a source of healing, comfort, and even inspiration.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued, but I have to admit I'm also a bit skeptical. Is there any evidence to support these claims of increased communication with the deceased?
Well, like the predictions about spiritual awakening, it's not something we can easily quantify or prove scientifically. However, throughout history, there's been countless accounts of people experiencing communication with the deceased, and many cultures have traditions and beliefs that honor this connection.
It's not like this is a brand new concept.
Yeah.
It's been part of the human experience for centuries.
Exactly. And while we may not fully understand how it works, it's clear that this connection is meaningful for many people, and who knows, maybe in 2025 we'll see even more evidence of this phenomenon as our intuitive abilities and spiritual awareness expand.
Okay, I'm officially on board with the possibility of chatting with my ancestors in 2025. But before we get too carried away with the paranormal, I think it's time to bring this part of our deep dive to a close. We've covered a lot of ground, from global conflicts to technological advancements to spiritual awakenings.
We've barely scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore in the W files.
I know, right? It's like we've opened Pandora's box of predictions, but we need to pace ourselves. We'll continue our journey through the potential futures of 2025 in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned.
Wait, what?
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before the break, we kind of painted this broad picture of what the W Files predicts for 2025.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
A year of change, innovation,
Potential upheaval.
across the globe.
And now
we're going to dive a little deeper into the specifics.
Okay.
Exploring these unique insights from the individual sources featured in the W Files. Ooh, I like that.
it's like we're getting a personalized reading from a panel of, well,
Modern-day oracles.
haha, I like that. So who do we consult first on our journey into the mysteries of 2025?
Let's start with Bracha Goldsmith.
The astrologer.
Yeah, whose insights, well, they focus on, the planets and their influence.
About human affairs.
Yeah, like reading the story written in the stars.
It's a beautiful way to think about it.
Okay, so what celestial signposts is Bracha Goldsmith pointing to?
She highlights Neptune's little dip into Aries
When is that?
from March to October 2025.
Okay.
Now, for those who aren't fluent in astrospeak,
Like me?
Neptune is often associated with dreams, illusions, spirituality,
Okay.
while Aries is known for its bold, pioneering energy.
So a blend of idealism and action.
Exactly. And Goldsmith sees this creating a time when compassionate leadership could emerge,
That would be nice.
but also a time when we need to be wary of false prophets. Those who promise, easy solutions to complex problems. It's like navigating a world where reality and fantasy are kind of blurred.
That sounds a lot like, well, the world we're living in right now.
Uh-huh. You're not wrong.
Okay, what else?
Goldsmith also points to Uranus, the planet of disruption and innovation,
Okay.
transitioning from Taurus to Gemini in the latter half of 2025. Taurus is all about stability, material security.
In Gemini.
Gemini is known for its quick wit and adaptability.
So a shift from the tangible to the realm of ideas and communication.
Get at it.
I'm sensing some serious technological advancements on the horizon.
You're picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah.
She predicts this planetary shift will bring a wave of rapid technological advancements.
Like in what?
Medicine, transportation, space travel, even virtual reality.
Wow, warp speed, like straight out of Star Trek.
Well, maybe not quite that fast.
Well.
But the point is, Goldsmith sees 2025 as a year of accelerated progress, where technology reshapes our world, at an unprecedented pace.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
It is.
Like, how do we keep up with such rapid change? And how do we make sure these advancements benefit everyone?
Those are great questions. And Goldsmith reminds us that even with all this acceleration, we need to find stillness, stay grounded. It's about balancing that excitement for the future with a deep connection to the present moment.
It's like, don't forget to stop and smell the roses, even when you're hurtling through space at warp speed.
That's a great way to put it.
What about Saturn?
Ah, yes. Saturn, the planet of structure and discipline, is moving into Aries. Goldsmith sees this as kind of adding fuel to the fire of this accelerated change, suggesting that it could usher in a period of dynamic energy where finding balance, finding equilibrium becomes essential.
Okay, so from the cosmic perspective, 2025 is shaping up to be a year of rapid change, exciting innovations, and the need to stay balanced amidst the whirlwind.
I'd say that's a pretty accurate summary.
Got it. Who's next on our prediction tour?
Let's turn to moon omens, a source that kind of blends astrology with intuitive insights.
All right.
They also emphasize a year of profound transformation.
Yeah.
They focus on the death and rebirth cycle, that universal principle of, something ending to make way for something new.
That's powerful imagery.
It is. It's like nature's way of saying out with the old, in with the new.
Okay, so what's on the cosmic chopping block in 2025?
Well, moon omens points to some major planetary shifts, with Pluto settling into Aquarius
For how long?
for the next 20 years.
Oh.
And Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Jupiter are all moving into new signs as well. This cosmic realignment, they suggest, it will challenge established systems and structures, leading to, a reimagining of everything from family and community to financing.
It's self-identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like we're hitting the reset button on society as we know it.
That's a pretty big reset button.
It is.
Yeah.
And Moon Omens acknowledges that this transformation can be unsettling, even painful at times.
I bet.
But they see it as ultimately necessary for growth and renewal.
It's like we're shedding our old skin to make way for a new version of ourselves, a new version of society.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It's like that quote from Eat, Pray, Love, ruin is a gift, ruins the road to transformation.
It is.
So these planetary shifts are essentially like cosmic demolition crews, clearing the way for something new.
I love that analogy.
What about eclipses?
Ah, yes. Moon Omens highlights the significance of eclipses in 2025, particularly the lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 14th
Okay.
and the solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th.
Okay.
They describe these eclipses as powerful turning points, infused with, and I quote, crazy, otherworldly energy.
Eclipses always feel so dramatic, like the universe is holding its breath.
They do, don't they?
Okay, break it down for me. What kind of energy are we talking about here?
Well, the lunar eclipse in Virgo is seen as a time of karmic endings.
Karmic endings.
It's like a cosmic nudge to let go of what no longer serves us,
It's like the universe is doing a spring cleaning.
And we're all invited to participate.
What about the solar eclipse?
The solar eclipse in Aries, just 2 weeks later, marks the closing of a cycle that began 18 months earlier.
What?
And Aries, being the first sign of the zodiac, is all about new beginnings.
New beginnings.
So this eclipse could feel like a powerful launching pad for new ventures, fresh perspectives.
So it's a time for endings and beginnings, a transition point that could feel both exhilarating and a bit overwhelming.
You got it.
Get a little overwhelmed just thinking about it.
And Moon Omen suggests these eclipses could amplify our intuitive abilities, making us more receptive to subtle energies, and maybe even enhancing our connection to the spiritual realm.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit more cosmically attuned already. So we've consulted the stars, explored the energy of eclipses.
What's next?
Yeah, who's next on our list of predictions for 2025?
Let's delve into the world of remote viewing
Who?
with Linda G's predictions.
Go.
She paints a picture of 2025 that includes natural disasters, political drama, and the continued rise of AI.
Okay, that sounds like a year with a lot going on. What kind of natural disasters are we talking about?
Well, Linda G foresees a significant earthquake in a coastal country,
Where?
likely in Asia,
Okay.
with the potential to trigger a tsunami.
Wow.
She also mentions a major volcanic eruption,
Location.
unclear. It's a sobering reminder that we live on a dynamic planet capable of both beauty and destructive power.
It's true. We often forget how vulnerable we are to the forces of nature until something like that happens.
That's a good point. And on a more human-centric note, Linda G also predicts a financial downturn in the second quarter of 2025.
Another one.
It seems so. And of course, there's the continued rise of AI,
AI.
which Linda G sees becoming even more integrated into our lives.
Okay, what does that look like?
Well, she predicts humanoid robots becoming more prevalent, performing tasks that, used to be exclusive to humans.
Humanoid robots. Okay, now we're really stepping into science fiction territory.
I know, right? It's like Westworld or Blade Runner, where the line between human and machine is blurred.
I love those shows.
And Linda G even suggests that some countries might start granting rights and privileges to AI and robots.
Wait, robots with rights. That's both fascinating and a little bit frightening. What would that even look like? Would they vote, pay taxes, have their own robot unions?
Those are questions philosophers and ethicists are actually grappling with right now.
My bad.
And it's a discussion that's becoming more and more relevant as AI technology advances.
It really makes you wonder what it even means to be human in a world where machines are becoming so intelligent.
It's a question that's both exciting and a bit unsettling. It forces us to confront our assumptions about consciousness, sentience, even the very nature of existence.
Okay, so Linda G has given us a glimpse into a future of natural disasters, financial uncertainty, and the rise of AI. What other remote viewing insights are in store for us?
Let's turn to Elizabeth April.
Another remote viewer.
Yes, and she offers a vision of 2025 that's equally dramatic.
Okay, hit me with Elizabeth April's predictions.
Okay, so she also predicts natural disasters.
I am like
another earthquake and tsunami in Asia.
a major volcanic eruption and strange weather patterns, including an out-of-season heat wave. But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
She attributes some of these events to the manipulation of weather systems.
You mean like someone is controlling the weather?
That's what she's suggesting, that some organization might be controlling these technologies.
For their own purposes.
It's like a real-life geostorm scenario where weather control technology falls into the wrong hands.
Okay, that's scary.
And it raises questions about who might be wielding this power and why.
Yeah, are they trying to, fix climate change, or are they using this technology for something more sinister?
It's a good question. And speaking of unsettling, Elizabeth April also predicts a turbulent financial landscape in the first half of 2025, with cryptocurrency continuing to gain traction.
So crypto is still the wild card.
It seems so, but she also warns about volatility and regulatory challenges.
So maybe a bumpy ride for crypto investors.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting.
She predicts significant UFO activity, including both real extraterrestrial events and fabricated incidents, possibly orchestrated by governments.
Wait, hold on. So we've got real aliens and fake aliens.
I know, it's a lot to process.
And then confusing.
It is a complex scenario. April suggests that the real extraterrestrial events might be overshadowed by these government attempts to control the narrative.
So it's like a cosmic conspiracy theory.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder about the level of transparency we can expect from our leaders, especially when it comes to something as potentially world-changing as contact with extraterrestrial life.
It makes those government-controlled digital currencies seem almost tame in comparison.
Right. Okay, so we've got real aliens, fake aliens, government cover-ups. What else does Elizabeth April see for 2025?
Give it to me.
She sees AI continuing to advance, with humanoid robots approaching sentience.
Like becoming self-aware.
And she also predicts that some governments might start granting rights and privileges to these AI entities, raising questions about personhood and equality.
It's fascinating. And a little bit frightening to think about a future where machines have the same rights as humans.
It is. What would that mean for the future of work? The very fabric of society could be transformed.
And we're not even ready for self-driving cars yet.
April also predicts breakthroughs in quantum mechanics and computing, which could revolutionize our understanding of the universe,
Okay.
but also potentially disrupt cybersecurity. She warns of cyber attacks that could expose, elite agendas and declassified information, leading to public outcry and possibly even riots.
So it's like every advancement comes with a potential dark side.
It seems that way. The more we push the boundaries of technology, the more vulnerable we become to its unintended consequences.
And it's not just technology that's causing disruption.
Right.
She also mentions, the discovery of new animal species and weird animal behavior
Anomalous animal behavior.
as signs of environmental change.
Yeah.
It's like the natural world is trying to tell us something.
Urging us to pay attention to our impact on the planet.
Okay, so with all these predictions of turmoil and disruption, does Elizabeth April offer any hope for 2025?
She does.
She does.
She sees 2025 as ushering in a new frequency for humanity, a rebirth marked by heightened awareness and a shift in values. She believes that despite the challenges, we can create a more just, sustainable, and compassionate world.
It's like even with all the potential for chaos, there's a glimmer of hope,
There is...
a sense that we can rise to the occasion and create a better future.
I love that. Okay, so we've explored the astrological predictions of Bracha Goldsmith and Moon Omens, as well as the remote viewing insights of Linda G. and Elizabeth April.
It's a lot.
Who's up next in our prediction parade?
Let's hear from Kel Sutliff.
The intuitive.
Yeah, what does Kel Sutliff have to tell us about 2025?
Sutliff actually presents a more optimistic view of 2025,
Really?
seeing it as a year of regrowth and transformation.
Okay.
She predicts significant changes in global politics and leadership, suggesting that these shifts will reshape, the distribution of power on the world stage.
It sounds like a year of upheaval, but ultimately positive change. A bit like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yes, that's a great way to describe Sutliff's vision. She believes that while 2025 may present some economic dips, there will be opportunities for growth in certain sectors.
Okay.
She emphasizes the short-lived nature of challenges and the revelation of truths that have long been hidden.
It's like the truth will set us free, even if the process of uncovering it is painful.
Like that saying, the truth will out.
And as those truths are revealed, they will illuminate the path forward, right? Paving the way for a more just and equitable world.
I love that. So it's not just about weathering the storm, but about using those challenges of 2025 as opportunities for growth.
Growth and transformation.
Exactly. Sutliff encourages us to dream big, to release limiting beliefs, and to, align our actions with our highest aspirations.
Our highest aspirations, I like that.
She sees 2025 as fertile ground for personal and collective growth.
A year of renewal.
A year of renewal and the planting of seeds for a brighter future.
That's a really beautiful image. It is. So who do we consult next in our quest to understand the year ahead?
Let's delve into the world of numerology and spiritual insights with Amanda Ellis.
Okay, numerology. That's fascinating.
It's like deciphering the hidden language of numbers.
What does Amanda Ellis have to say about 2025?
Ellis sees 2025 as a year of significant change and transformation, guided by the numerological energy of 9.
9.
In numerology, 9 represents completion, and it's often associated with Mars, the planet of action and passion.
So we're talking about a year of dynamic energy and significant shifts.
Yes. Ellis predicts a range of events, from the continued rise of AI to a decline in traditional celebrity culture.
Wow, really?
Significant political shifts in Canada, and even those intriguing UFO disclosures we've been hearing about.
It's like a kaleidoscope of possibilities.
It is.
But with all this change, there's a sense of uncertainty.
For sure.
Does Ellis offer any guidance on how to navigate these potential upheavals?
She emphasizes staying grounded in our personal truth and intuition, encouraging individuals to trust their inner compass amidst external pressures and manipulations.
So trusting ourselves.
Exactly. She also acknowledges that this year won't be without its challenges,
I believe that.
highlighting potential issues targeting children and emphasizing the need for discernment and resilience.
It sounds like we need to cultivate both our inner strength and our ability to adapt to change.
It's about staying true to ourselves while also being open to new possibilities.
Does Ellis use anything besides numerology?
She mentions drawing 3 tarot cards for 2025.
Oh, tarot cards.
The Mother of Cups, the Lovers, and the Hierophant.
Okay.
These cards suggest a year focused on intuition, compassion, partnership.
Partnerships.
Yes, and a reevaluation of traditions and hierarchies.
It's interesting how these different divination tools can offer, different insights.
They do, don't they? Adding layers of symbolism and meaning to the interpretation.
Okay, whose insights are up next on our journey through the W Files predictions for 2025?
Let's explore the predictions of Debbie Griggs,
Debbie Griggs.
who offers a vision of 2025 that's both exciting, a bit unnerving.
All right, lay it on me. What does Debbie Griggs have to say about the year ahead?
Griggs describes 2025 as a powerful, turbulent year,
Oh boy.
a bumpy ride,
Filled with.
energy revelations and major shifts. She emphasizes a transition in the energetic landscape, moving from the grounding, emotional elements of earth and water
Earth and what?
to the dynamic, intellectual elements of fire and air.
So a shift from stability to change, mental agility.
Precisely. Griggs sees 2025 as a year of intense communication, innovation, and action.
So buckle up.
She predicts major conflicts and protests erupting globally, particularly from the end of February through May.
That sounds intense.
It's a reminder of how quickly things can escalate and how important it is to find peaceful solutions to conflict.
We need peace.
And it's not just global unrest that Griggs predicts.
Huh.
She also foresees assassination attempts on high-profile leaders, including Vladimir Putin
Really?
and the leader of China,
That's chilling.
adding another layer of concern to the geopolitical landscape.
Does she say what might cause these conflicts or assassination attempts?
She doesn't go into specifics,
Okay.
but her predictions definitely align with the themes of power struggles and, ideological clashes that we've been talking about.
It's like 2025 is a year where those tensions reach a boiling point.
And on a more personal level, Griggs emphasizes the importance of personal transformation and connecting with one's inner knowing.
Inner knowing.
She sees 2025 as a year where people will feel this pull, this internal pull to make changes in their lives.
Like what kind of changes?
Maybe move, leave relationships, let go of things that no longer serve them.
That's a big change.
It's like a cosmic wake-up call urging us to align with our true path.
And purpose?
Yes. But change can be scary.
It can.
So Griggs encourages us to trust our intuition, to listen to that inner voice that guides us towards, what's best for us.
I like that.
She sees 2025 as a year where those who resist this inner call may struggle, while those who embrace change will find opportunities for new beginnings, love, health, even wealth.
That's a message of hope and empowerment, reminding us that we have the power to choose our own path and create the life we desire.
Exactly. But amidst these personal transformations, Griggs also sees potential for collective growth, positive change on a societal level.
Like what?
She sees 2025 as a year for creating closer communities, finding our tribes, building stronger connections.
It's a counterbalance to all the global unrest.
It is.
It's a reminder that even amidst chaos, we can find strength in our relationships with others.
It's so true. And Griggs also predicts revelations about long-standing mysteries, potential shifts in celebrity culture, and a rise in spiritual awareness.
Okay, so big changes on a personal level and on a global level.
Yes. She encourages people to stand up for what they believe in, to reconnect with their truth and purpose.
It's like a call to action, urging us to use our voices and our collective power to create a better world. So our choices matter.
Absolutely. Griggs emphasizes staying grounded, not getting caught up in others' problems, and trusting our inner knowing to guide us.
Through the challenges.
Yes. She sees 2025 as a year of new beginnings, a time for letting go and embracing what truly matters.
Okay, so who do we consult next in our quest to understand what 2025 has in store?
Let's turn to the predictions of Baba Vanga,
Baba Vanga?
the famed Bulgarian mystic,
Oh, wow.
whose visions continue to intrigue and mystify.
Baba Vanga, the Nostradamus of the Balkans. I've always been fascinated by her predictions. They're always a little eerie.
They are.
So what does she foresee for 2025?
Baba Vanga's visions are often cryptic
Cryptic.
and open to interpretation,
Okay.
but they tend to focus on major global events shifts.
Yeah.
For 2025, she predicted a devastating war that could leave Europe sparsely populated.
That's a chilling prediction, especially considering, all the geopolitical tensions right now. It's a reminder of just how fragile peace can be.
It's a very sobering thought. She also foresaw numerous natural disasters, including earthquakes, floods, and volcanic eruptions.
Any specific locations?
She specifically mentioned an earthquake along the U.S. West Coast.
Okay, that's a little too close to home. It's a reminder that we're not in control as much as we like to think we are.
Nature has a way of, putting this in our place.
Okay, what up?
Baba Vanga also envisioned humanity encountering extraterrestrial beings in 2025.
Alien encounters.
She suggested that this contact could bring both wonder and challenges.
Wonder and challenges, that's interesting.
It makes you wonder what impact such an encounter would have on our understanding of ourselves, our place in the universe.
It's a question that's fascinated us for centuries.
Maybe 2025 will be the year we finally get some answers.
Did Baba Vanga say anything about the political landscape? How the balance of power might shift in 2025?
On the political front, she predicted Vladimir Putin's re-election as Russia's leader, suggesting that Russia will, further solidify its global dominance. This prediction, if it comes true, could have significant implications.
It does align with current trends, and it raises concerns about the future balance of power on the world stage. It's like we're entering a new era of global competition, and the stakes are higher than ever.
Despite these, potentially ominous predictions, Baba Vanga also foresaw positive advancements.
Like what?
Especially in medicine.
Okay.
She predicted breakthroughs in lab-grown organs, potentially revolutionizing transplants.
That would be amazing.
And offering hope to millions. She also saw advancements in cancer treatment, possibly even a cure.
So even in the face of potential turmoil, humanity is still striving for progress and healing. It's a testament to our resilience and ingenuity.
I love that. And perhaps that's the most important takeaway from Baba Vanga's predictions.
What's that?
That even amidst challenges and uncertainty, there's always hope for a brighter future.
It's a powerful message, and one that's worth holding on to as we navigate the year ahead. Okay, who's next on our list? Who do we consult next?
Let's delve into the predictions of John Hogue.
John Hogue.
A renowned Nostradamus expert who has spent decades deciphering the cryptic prophecies of the 16th century seer.
Nostradamus. Now we're talking about, the OG of cryptic prophecies.
I know, right?
What does John Hogue see in the writings of Nostradamus for 2025?
Hogue sees 2025 as a year of revolutions.
Revolutions.
And surprises. A time when major unexpected events will disrupt, established norms.
And reshape global narratives.
Exactly.
It sounds like a year of seismic shifts and paradigm-breaking revelations. What kind of revolutions is Hogue predicting?
He believes that 2025 could be a turning point in human history where long-held beliefs and systems are challenged and overturned.
It's like the old world is crumbling and a new world is struggling to be born.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thank you.
And amidst this upheaval, Hogue predicts humanity's eventual recognition of extraterrestrial life.
Alien disclosure.
Suggesting that 2025 could be the year when UFOs are universally accepted as real.
So we're talking full-blown alien disclosure. That's a prediction that's been around for decades, but Hogue seems to think 2025 might be the year it finally happens.
He does, though he acknowledges that we don't know exactly what form this disclosure will take.
Like, what are the options?
Will it be a gradual release of information, a sudden announcement, or maybe even an undeniable encounter that leaves no room for doubt?
It's a fascinating question and one that has sparked so many theories. But regardless of how it happens, if alien disclosure does occur in 2025, it would undoubtedly be a paradigm-shifting event, right? We'd have to reconsider our place in the cosmos.
Absolutely. And Hogue encourages us to embrace the unexpected in 2025, to be open to surprises, and to adapt to the rapid changes that are likely to unfold.
It's a thrilling prospect.
It is.
If a little daunting.
He sees it as a year that could redefine how humanity sees itself and its place in the universe.
Okay, so now for the ultimate cryptic prophecies.
Nostradamus himself, I'm ready. The man whose cryptic prophecies have captivated people for centuries.
Nostradamus, I'm ready for some seriously cryptic prophecies. What does the master of obscure predictions have to say about 2025?
Nostradamus's writings are notoriously vague.
They are.
Open to interpretation.
But they have captivated people for centuries.
They have, and his predictions for 2025, as interpreted by various scholars, include a mix of wars, natural disasters, medical breakthroughs, and even encounters with the unknown.
It sounds like a year of extremes, both devastating and transformative. What specific events do Nostradamus' prophecies hint at?
He's often interpreted as predicting widespread warfare, possibly involving multiple continents, and escalating tensions in Europe. Some interpretations suggest a turning point in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, but with the potential for the conflict to expand.
And draw in other nations.
That's a chilling thought, and one that echoes some of the other predictions we've explored.
It's a reminder that we're living in a volatile world, and conflict can erupt unexpectedly.
It's true. Nostradamus' writings also suggest a shift in global power with the decline of Western dominance.
Yeah.
The rise of new players on the world stage.
So,
This realignment of power could lead to further geopolitical clashes.
it's a reminder that the world is in constant flux, and the balance of power is always shifting. What we consider to be the established order today could be completely different tomorrow.
Nostradamus' predictions also include numerous natural disasters, including major earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and floods.
Wow. It sounds like a year where we need to be prepared for the unexpected, both on a personal level and a global level.
Absolutely. And perhaps even more unsettling is his mention of the resurgence of a great pestilence from the past, which some interpret as the reemergence of a deadly plague.
A plague, that's a frightening thought, especially in a world that's still dealing with the aftermath of recent pandemics. It's a reminder that we're not invincible and that history has a way of repeating itself.
Despite these ominous predictions, Nostradamus also foresaw advancements in medicine, particularly in personalized medicine and the use of AI in healthcare.
So even amidst these challenges, humanity continues to strive for progress.
And healing.
It's a testament to our ingenuity and our determination to overcome obstacles.
It's inspiring.
What about finance?
Nostradamus also predicted economic instability, possibly even a global financial collapse, suggesting that the systems we rely on might not be as secure as we think.
Okay, and now for the really cryptic stuff.
Right. He made references to UFO revelations, suggesting that the truth about extraterrestrial life might be revealed, and the emergence of a mysterious leader from the sea.
A mysterious leader from the sea. Okay, that sounds ominous.
It does, doesn't it?
Those predictions are definitely intriguing. It's like Nostradamus is giving us glimpses into a future that's both fascinating and frightening. It's like a puzzle where we don't have all the pieces and we're not even sure what the final picture is supposed to look like.
That's a great analogy. Nostradamus' predictions invite us to interpret, to consider different possibilities, and to remain open to the mysteries of the future.
Okay, I'm ready for more predictions. Whose insights are? How are we diving into now?
Let's explore the predictions of Nicholas Agela,
Nicholas Agela.
a London-based hypnotherapist and psychic whose visions offer a blend of global events and personal insights.
All right, Nicholas Agela, what does he have to say about 2025?
Agela sees 2025 as a year of stark contrasts.
Stark contrast.
Marked by global turmoil, environmental challenges, technological advancements, and opportunities for personal growth. He predicts escalating violence, fueled by religion and nationalism, possibly even a World War III scenario.
That's a chilling prediction. It's a reminder of just how divided our world is and the potential for those divisions to escalate into conflict. It's like the dark side of human nature threatening to undo all the progress we've made.
It's a sobering thought. And on a more localized level, Agela predicts political turbulence in both the U.S. and the U.K. He sees Donald Trump winning the 2024 U.S. presidential election, a prediction that's sure to generate debate.
Definitely.
And also the resignation of the U.K. Prime Minister, suggesting a period of instability in British politics.
Those are some bold predictions.
They are.
What about the environment? Does Agela see any signs of hope, amidst all the concerns about climate change?
Agela's vision for the environment is, quite bleak. He emphasizes the Earth's, and I quote, revenge against humanity for environmental degradation.
The Earth's revenge.
Warning of extreme weather events that, really underscore the urgent need to address climate change.
It's a powerful image, the Earth fighting back against the harm we've inflicted upon it. It's a reminder that we're not separate from nature and that our actions have consequences.
It's a message we need to take seriously.
Amidst all this talk of global turmoil and environmental challenges, does Agela offer any glimpses of hope or progress for 2025?
He does.
He does.
Agela also sees positive developments, predicting breakthroughs in medical technology, particularly in lab-grown organs.
That's a glimmer of hope. It's a reminder that human ingenuity and compassion are still driving forces for progress.
Absolutely. He also predicts the continued rise of artificial intelligence,
AI.
suggesting that AI will become even more integrated into our lives in 2025.
Okay.
But rather than seeing it as a threat, he views it as an opportunity to, enhance human capabilities and solve complex problems.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads where technology can either lead us down a path of destruction or empower us to create a better future.
And Agela seems to believe that with careful consideration and ethical guidance, we can harness the power of technology for good.
I like that perspective.
So what other insights does Nicholas Agela offer?
Well, he highlights the importance of individuality and authenticity in 2025,
Okay.
encouraging people to embrace their uniqueness and break free from societal expectations.
To be themselves. Exactly. He sees a growing trend of people rejecting traditional norms and forging their own paths, prioritizing personal fulfillment over external validation.
So 2025, the year of the individual.
In a way,
What about spirituality? Does Ojala see any shifts in our spiritual awareness or practices?
Ojala predicts a surge in interest in spirituality and alternative healing modalities.
Like what?
Things like energy healing, meditation, and mindfulness practices. He sees people turning inwards, seeking deeper meaning and connection beyond the material world.
So it's like a spiritual awakening driven by a desire for something more than just the superficial aspects of life.
Exactly. It's a search for meaning, for purpose, for connection to something greater than ourselves.
And does this inward focus have any implications for how we interact with the world around us? Our relationships, our communities, our society as a whole.
Ojala believes that this shift in consciousness will lead to more compassion, empathy, and understanding in our interactions with others. He sees it as a counterbalance to the global turmoil and conflict, a reminder that even amidst chaos, human connection and kindness can prevail.
It's a beautiful vision and one that offers hope for a more harmonious and fulfilling future. So after exploring all these diverse predictions, what are your final thoughts on what 2025 holds for us?
It's clear that 2025 is shaping up to be a year of immense change, potential turmoil, but also incredible opportunities.
It's a lot to take in. We've got potential global conflicts, economic uncertainty, groundbreaking technological advancements, a spiritual awakening, even the possibility of chatting with ghosts.
And remember, these are just predictions, glimpses into possible futures. Nothing is set in stone.
Okay, that's reassuring. But I have to ask, with so many different predictions swirling around, how do we even begin to make sense of it all?
That's where our critical thinking skills come into play. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement, the fear, the sheer what-if factor of it all. But we need to remember that predictions are not facts.
So it's not about blindly believing everything we hear, but rather using these predictions as a starting point for deeper exploration and reflection.
Exactly. Instead of asking, is this prediction accurate? We can ask, what does this prediction reveal about our current anxieties, hopes, and beliefs?
It's like holding a mirror up to society, seeing our collective fears and aspirations reflected in these potential futures.
Yeah, and by understanding the underlying motivations and biases that shape these predictions, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the forces shaping our world.
Okay, I'm starting to feel a bit more grounded. It's less about trying to predict the future with certainty and more about using these predictions as a tool for self-awareness and informed decision-making.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that we have agency, that we're not simply passive observers of the future, but active participants in shaping it.
So it's not about letting fate decide our destiny, but rather taking ownership of our choices and actions.
Exactly. And that brings us back to one of the key themes that emerged from the W files, the idea of a spiritual awakening. A shift in consciousness that empowers us to navigate these uncertain times with greater wisdom and compassion.
It's like that famous quote from Gandhi, be the change that you wish to see in the world.
Yeah, it's about recognizing our interconnectedness, our responsibility to each other and the planet, and our capacity to create a more just equitable and sustainable future.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired, but I also have to acknowledge that part of me still feels overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the changes that 2025 might bring. It's like we're standing on the edge of a new era and we're not quite sure what's waiting for us on the other side.
Yeah, I get it. That sense of uncertainty is natural, but it's also a reminder that the future is not something to be feared, but embraced. It's a blank canvas upon which we can paint our hopes, our dreams, our vision for a better world.
It's like that line from The Lord of the Rings. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us.
Right. The future is not predetermined. It's a tapestry woven from countless threads, our choices and actions being among the most important.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the predictions for 2025,
Yeah,
what's the key message you want to leave our listener with?
I think it comes down to this. Embrace the uncertainty, cultivate your critical thinking skills, tap into your inner wisdom, and most importantly, remember that the future is not something that happens to us, it's something we create together.
Beautifully said. And on that empowering note, I think it's time to bid farewell to the swirling vortex of possibilities and step back into the present moment where the power to shape our future resides. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through the W files and the potential futures of 2025.
It's been my pleasure exploring these fascinating predictions with you, and remember, the future is in your hands.
Until next time, Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep shaping the world you want to live in.
Wait, what?